Alex submitted this 5-field lead form. The response appeared in Sheets as draft ready, and a personalized reply was waiting in Gmail. The trigger prepared it but sent nothing. You will build this exact free workflow, copy the tested script, and verify a generic request, a bad email, and a duplicate event. If you handle leads yourself, the risky gap comes after submit. Open the sheet, find the row, copy the email, remember the request, write a reply, and hope nothing was missed. This build removes that preparation without turning your inbox into an unsupervised autoresponder. Google handles the handoff. You still make the decision. Here is the whole system. A Google form captures the lead and writes it into a linked sheet. An installable trigger fires only when a new response arrives. AppScript validates the row, chooses a rule-based reply, and creates a Gmail draft. The account that installs the trigger owns that draft. A person reviews it, edits what needs judgment, and clicks send manually. Create a blank Google form and give it a clear internal name. Add 5 questions with the wording shown here, because the script matches these labels exactly. Name and email are required. Company is optional. What do you need is required multiple choice. Workflow audit, implementation help, or other. Timeline is required. ASAP within 30 days or just researching. Use fictional test data and never collect passwords, payment details, or anything the first reply does not need. For a live form, add Google's email format validation. Keep the script checked too. It protects edited rows and future changes. This demo allowed one bad address through only to prove that backstop. Then open responses and link the form to a new Google sheet. The linked sheet is the audit trail. The 5 answers appear first, and the setup function adds status, draft ID, and error. Blank means the row is new. Processing is written before the script touches Gmail. Draft ready appears only after Gmail returns a draft, with its identifier recorded for reconciliation. Error means the script stopped and wrote down why. After sending, you may mark the row sent manually, but the automation never assumes that decision. From the response sheet, open extensions, then AppScript. Replace the placeholder with the copy-ready file linked below and save the project. Config maps each question to its exact header. If your form says full name instead of name, update one side so they match. Service Next Steps contains an honest line for workflow audit and another for implementation help. Other, or any unmatched choice, uses a conservative fallback. This is rule-based routing, not AI guessing what you promised. Customize the wording, but keep every promise small enough to deliver. You do not need to memorize the file, but 4 protections matter. A script lock serializes submissions, so 2 runs cannot update shared state together. The handler writes processing before building the message. Every value is trimmed, control characters are removed, lengths are capped, and the email must pass a format check. User text is escaped before entering the HTML body. The only Gmail action is Gmail app.createDraft. There is no send call. After Gmail returns an identifier, the row becomes draft ready. If anything fails, draft ID is cleared, the reason is written, status becomes error, and the error is thrown again, so AppScript reports it. Make sure the linked response tab is active. In AppScript, choose Setup Lead Sheet and click Run once. It checks that name, email, and what do you need exist, then adds any missing output columns. Review Google's permissions, and continue only for the script in your own project. When it finishes, confirm that status, draft ID, and error are visible. If setup reports missing questions, fix the label mismatch instead of weakening the check. Open triggers from the clock icon and choose Add Trigger. Select On Form Submit, leave Deployment on Head, choose from Spreadsheet, then On Form Submit. Set failure notifications to notify me immediately so an error is not missed. Save and approve the permissions. This must be an installable trigger because Gmail drafts require authorization. Do not use on edit or a timer. The contract is 1 submitted form, 1 new row, 1 draft attempt. The error rate visible here includes our deliberate invalid email test, not an unexplained production failure. Submit a fictional lead through the generic branch. Taylor Reed chose other and just researching. The row landed in Sheets, the fallback wording was selected, and status became draft ready. This exact on form submit run completed in 2.193 seconds. That is one measured demo, not a universal promise. In Gmail, the recipient, company, service, and timeline match the row, while the generic sentence makes no unreviewed commitment. The blue send button is still waiting for a person. Now prove the failure pass. If your live form blocks malformed addresses, use a duplicated test form or a fictional sheet row with the included helper. Jamie Lee has not an email in the email field. The script rejects it before Gmail is called. Status becomes error. The reason says invalid email address, and draft ID stays empty. The matching trigger execution failed at 1.537 seconds, which is correct. We confirmed no draft was created. A visible red failure is safer than a green workflow that quietly prepares the wrong message. The last test protects against duplicates. Run test last row again on Taylor's completed row. The helper rebuilds the form event and calls the same handler. Before touching Gmail, the handler checks status. Because draft ready exists, it logs skipped row 4. Status already exists, then exits. Draft ID stays unchanged, and no second draft appears. Retries must therefore be deliberate. Before clearing processing or error, check Gmail drafts and reconcile the row. Never erase a status just to make a retry run. Every successful path ends in Gmail drafts. Review the recipient, requested service, promised next step, and tone before sending. The account that installed the trigger owns the draft. For a team, design a shared or delegated mailbox intentionally. An owner column does not move drafts between accounts. Draft ownership is a real operational constraint, so settle it before the team relies on this workflow. Preparation is faster, but judgment stays with the person responsible for the client relationship. You now have a free lead handoff with a visible audit trail. Forms captures, Sheets records, app script prepares, and Gmail waits for approval. The exact script and checklist are linked below. Build it with fictional data, pass all 4 checks, then connect a real form. Send this to the person who copies the same lead details every day. The next ops in minutes, build turns meeting notes into own tasks without automatically making client commitments.